What's up, everyone? J-Bone back here for Smash This Podcast. Going to be going over Bring It to the Table, episode number 2. We got that. Kind of a last-minute thing I'm deciding to do here. I got a couple other things I've got planned that I'll probably knock out within the next couple days. Didn't know we were getting another episode of this. This kind of came out of nowhere, like an RKO. But I was happy about this because this really means nothing, but it was exciting to me because I reviewed the first one. If you want to go check it out, you can scroll down on the videos of my YouTube page for Smash This Podcast and go watch that first episode review. It is the video on my YouTube channel that actually has the most views. It's got like 2,500 views, which is ridiculous for my channel. So just throwing it out there. This one might get 10. I don't know. So who knows? But yeah, let's get into a few things here. I think a big drawing point for this one is the interview with Kurt Angle. Now, that was short and sweet. They seemed to just do some snippets. They said the full interview was going to be available sometime later within the next few weeks around, I'm guessing around WrestleMania weekend. They'll put it the full interview with Corey Graves on the network, which is great. I can't wait to see that. But yeah, this one was short. They just talked about why did you leave, and he said his body needed a rest. He was pretty banged up, and he talked about his addictions, and a lot of us knew that, but there's like they said, there's a whole new bunch of fans out there that are getting to know Kurt Angle that don't know him. So this is, he can send out a positive message either way about what to do or what not to do in the wrestling industry, which is cool. They also touched on the meeting that he had with Vince, and they showed the camera. It was kind of similar to Sting, meeting Vince for the first time. That was just a real quick snippet of that. Triple H walked him into Vince's office, and he embraced Vinnie Mac immediately. And it was one of those moments where it was, for an older wrestling fan like me to see him come back to the WWE and call it home. That gives me goosebumps. That really does. That gives me a really good feeling. And the one thing he did say is, and he said this, he's been saying this to everyone. They're focusing on the Hall of Fame for now, and we'll see what comes from there. They don't want to give anything away. That's understandable. They might reveal more when they release the whole interview, weeks down the road, when we have maybe a better clue of what he's going to be doing. The news is going around that he is coming to the main roster to be some sort of GM, possibly replacing Foley. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath for that, but would be cool to have him back in some capacity. I'd rather see him wrestle, but I'll take what I can get. Because I love Kurt Angle. It's great to see him back in the E. One thing that I touched on last time when I was reviewing this is that they are horrible to Rosenberg. They are really. I mean, they give him hell. I think they were worst. They were worse last episode. This episode, it was more JBL than Corey Graves. Corey Graves was pretty easygoing. JBL cut him down to seemed like every chance they had, and I don't understand that. It's like you're on there to talk opinions about certain subjects in the world of the WWE and professional wrestling. Why are you constantly cutting down your host? I don't understand that. I see a little rib, little joke, little here and there, but it's 2 episodes in a row now where it's like, well, shit, you keep this up, he may not come back. But apparently there is another one scheduled for March 30th, which is WrestleMania weekend. That's Thursday. That's in a couple weeks. So that'll be interesting to see that episode and who's all on that. Silence that. They talked about Fastlane. I'm not going to get too much into that because we've heard 1,000,001 opinions about that. Skip over that. Go to this. That was the first section. They talked about that. The hot start. The next section they talked about WrestleMania. They talked about Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles, where it was kind of a rumor. Now it seems like it's turning into the real thing. And they asked JBL and Corey Graves their opinions on this. And that was interesting. JBL said yes, he's excited about it. He thinks Shane McMahon can work with anyone. And last year was fun, but, at what expense? You're going to die in front of your kids? Jeez Louise. Corey Graves had the opposite opinion, which was interesting. Said he had absolutely zero interest in it. So, that bears the thought. I'm just going to. They didn't bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up because it's getting a lot of attention. I see a lot of people talking about it. It's in the dirt sheets. The fact that Nakamura wants a match at WrestleMania. Now he's going to have a match the night before. At least I think it's the night before. I can never remember what they're doing the night before, 2 nights before, when it comes to the Hall of Fame or the NXT. But nonetheless, I'm sure Nakamura has a match at the NXT WrestleMania show, whatever they call it. I got to catch up on NXT. I'm behind, about a month behind. Ooh, I got some catching up to do. I know Chris Hero's back. That's all I know. The fact that Nakamura wants a match at WrestleMania, me personally, I would go with that. I would build it up to Mania between Shane and Styles, but not confirm a match. And then when, like the week before, say, oh yeah, we're going to have a one-on-one with Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. Shane McMahon comes down to the ring, gets handed a microphone, says, whoa, pump the brakes. I have something to say. Here's your actual opponent for this evening. Out comes Nakamura and shocks tens of thousands of fans, and they put on a 5-star, 25-minute match or whatever. Hell, even a 15-minute match. And it could be some extra shenanigans from Shane McMahon, because I can see that happening. But that's how I would do that. That's how I would think that would be a lot more acceptable. I'm okay with the Shane Styles feud. I'm on the fence about it. I liked how it started this past week, how they were in each other's face. Michael Cole was there. Road Dogg. Mr. Purple Jumpsuit, Michael P.S. Hayes. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. You know, it's going to continue this coming evening on SmackDown. So JBL says yes. Corey Graves says no. That was interesting. Dig It. That was some funny little segments there. Who wore it better? They talked about Kate. What's her name? Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner. What? I can't think of her name. I really don't care about her. Some teenage daughter of Bruce Jenner. Yes, I'll always call him Bruce Jenner. Deal with it. I don't care if he's got boobs now or not. Ooh. Did he say that? Yes, he said that. Whatever. Don't care. Braun Strowman wore the same thing as Caitlyn Jenner. Whatever. Brown shirt, black pants. Who wore it better? Don't care. Then someone Kardashian wore the same shades as Bret Hart, and then they brought up the fact that Caitlyn Jenner wore an NWO shirt and Kevin Nash approved. Whatever. I really don't have too much to say else about that. What else? The Montreal. Oh, this was funny. They talked about the Montreal screw job becoming a porn. I'm kind of surprised they brought that up, but whatever. JBL had no comment, which was funny. Corey Graves says he'll probably watch it for educational purposes. It's hilarious. Then they brought up 205 Live. This was interesting. First 100 days, what was their reaction? And they both, JBL and Corey Graves, both said similar opinions to the effect of they need more action, less talk. It's like they understand that they're supposed to be building characters and stuff like that, but give us a reason to fall in love with these guys and watch them. And I agree. You know, I mean, I'm happy with it. You know, but yeah, I'd like to see maybe a little more. Not necessarily a longer show, maybe a little longer matches. Do like 3 15-minute matches. Just let them knock it out of the park every week, you know? No squash stuff. So yeah, more action, less talk. Then they got into the Kurt Angle interview. I already talked about that. You know, just reiterating that he said it was good to be back home. You know, that was cool to hear. The Don't Get Hot segment, talking about JBL getting hot about Mauro Ranallo. I forgot what exactly it was. Legends with JBL getting canceled. And Corey Graves said, don't feel bad. My show got canceled too. But Corey Graves got the interview with Kurt Angle. Interesting. I actually like, you know, I can't stand JBL on commentary. He's so annoying in my opinion. I actually like his Legends with JBL show. You know, when you can dive into the mind of wrestling legends of old and they tell stories, that fascinates me, you know? That really does. I wish they would have kept that. Who knows? With fan demand, maybe they'll bring it back. I've yet to watch the latest one with, The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. That's who it is. I've yet to watch that, but I do like his series. JBL does do those well. WWE paparazzi. Oh, as far as fans having going up to the WWE stars at the right place at the right time, not being crude. You know, it's one thing to do it at a meet and greet. It's another thing to do it when you're sitting down with your family to have a meal. that they brought up the one episode, not episode, well, the moment where Randy Orton was in a gym and someone wanted to get a picture, and he basically, told the guy to screw off or whatever. And it's like, yeah, when, there's a right place and a right time to do it. I could see it like maybe waiting till you're outside for a quick picture or something like that. Not when you're in the middle of a workout. That's understandable. You're concentrating. You're focused, So, what else here? WrestleMania. Oh, favorite WrestleMania moments. This was kind of interesting. JBL mentioned Hogan slamming Andre. In fact, Hogan got a lot of love in this segment. He was also brought up when Rosenberg, his choice was Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 19. Another great moment in WrestleMania history. Corey Graves' favorite was when HBK, the childhood dream, when he first became WWF champion. Another great moment. So, kind of all over, across the board, interesting. Big Finish WrestleMania. Oh, they were talking about how good the segment was between when they were talking to Miz and Maurice on Talking Smack, and how real it's getting between them. I like the Miz and Cena rivalry revisited from several years ago when they headlined WrestleMania. I could do without the the women at their side for this, but that's what we're getting. So it is what it is. So I'll take what I can get, because I always wanted to see that feud again. Somewhere down the road, once Miz was a little more, how do I say? It felt like back then he didn't deserve it. Now he's been busting his ass, and I feel like he's one of the top heels in the company, and he deserves actually a lot more than what he's getting right now. I want him to get another title shot and, hold the title again for a while. I'd love to see it. But that did not come into play because, well, he didn't win the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. So. Miz, failed me. So yeah, talking about the Talking Smack segment, how good it was. Then they said the next show is going to be March 30th, and I don't remember what they said about it. I don't think they said anything specifically. It was just going to be WrestleMania weekend. Something about, at the Citrus Bowl, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was cool. The main change was having Corey Graves there as opposed to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is like just always non-stop smart-ass heel, which I love Heyman, but when you're trying to do a show like this, that's not always good, where you need someone a little more professional sounding, maybe, in a sense, like Corey Graves is more of a Paul Heyman is more entertainment purposes. Corey Graves, you can put him behind a desk and, you can listen to him talk about something for a while, So in that aspect, I thought it was better. Still, they need to chill with the whole knocking Rosenberg, because, I do like him on there. I think he does it well. The whole, ESPN style type show, topics, nailing them one after the other. And, but yeah, they just need to stick to the topics and not so much, a little ribbing here and there to keep it fun. That's fine, but JBL needs to chill with that. That's about it. I did like it. So yeah, it's one of those things where they're trying to put original stuff on the network to get you to watch the network. This is certainly one of those things. I do enjoy it. I don't watch ESPN, but I do enjoy this type of show where they're actually talking about real stuff that they know the fans are talking about, and then them offering their opinions on it. So it's kind of interesting to hear, what they think of what we're talking about. So that's it for this. I'm sure I'll be covering the next one in a few weeks when we hit WrestleMania weekend. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not, because there is so much. Oh my God, between Mania, NXT, and all the hundreds of things on FloSlam. I'm probably not going to cover all the things on FloSlam because they have just a ridiculous amount of stuff that weekend. Between now and then, they've got like 20 events. It's just nuts. But I'm going to try to, cover some of my more favorite stuff like the Evolve and the Super Show, stuff like that. So that's some other things that are coming up here. And, yeah. Might also do a thing coming up sometime this week, whenever I put some notes together or whatever, for the Ring of Honor show. I did watch that. That was a blast. So that'll be coming soon too. Give my thoughts on Christopher Daniels and everything that happened that night. Great show. So that's it for this. Thanks for watching. You want to give it a like, give it a sub, share it wherever, to whoever. It's greatly appreciated. And so we'll see you down the road for the next one. Have a good one.